This is a Waiting on You All from George Harrison, of course, another Wall of Sound Spectre production from the All Things Must Pass album. And there's a lot going on this track. I mean, the Wall of Sound is very present, and there's a lot of guitars, slide guitars popping in and out of the mix. And I've covered quite a few of George's slide solos and whatnot in previous lessons, but I got a lot of requests asking me to spell out this chord progression, and in particular, that little lick or riff that George plays in between. So that's what I'm going to do here. I've got a very clean sound going, a pinch of chorus, and just a touch of reverb. And I actually referred to George's live version at the concert for Bangladesh because you can actually hear what he's playing a little bit more than you can on the Wall of Sound studio recording. So here we go with Waiting on You All. So first things first, it's a ton of bar chords, okay? So if you're not handy with your bar chords, you definitely want to get that together before you attempt this song. But there's only, so many shapes that are used to play this whole thing. The hardest part of the tune, this is one of those tunes where you look at it and you say, hey, there's not a lot of lead playing or this and that. But it's a tough one to nail groove-wise. It's got a definite gospel feel to it and a really killer groove, okay? So we start out with these chords. We start out with a B, then we go to a C sharp minor, a G sharp minor, F sharp major, E major, back to D sharp minor, C sharp minor, and then B again. So in your right hand, obviously, you're just kind of keeping this constant swinging motion going. And you're just going to keep that moving the whole time, okay? But what's important is where the syncopation of those chords falls. So slowing the whole thing down and really trying to get into it and explain what's happening is we have down, down, up, down, down, up, 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 down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So it's a syncopated rhythm, if you want to call it that, that repeats. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then that syncopation repeats for the rest of the chords. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down. But all the time, of course, your hand's just constantly swinging away, and you pick up natural mutes in between the chords by doing that because you're just sort of moving quickly to the next chord. Okay, so then it moves into that cool little fill that he plays. It's a little bit buried on the studio recording, but you can really hear it in the live version. So let's talk about that. So when you land that last B chord, you jump right into this riff, okay? So, it's pretty easy to play overall. It just sounds really cool, of course. So there's the tab up on the screen so you can see what I'm actually playing in my left hand. But I want to talk about what's going on in the right hand. So you start out with 2 downstrokes, then another downstroke when you switch to the next position here, and then do alternate strokes. So you've got down, 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 up, down, and then we form a B major triad, and those are upstrokes. And then we're playing some double stops here. And that's a downstroke. You're sliding it a whole step from 7 and 8 to 5 and 6. So now we have and then another downstroke after you slide it. And then there's a couple of open strings here, and you can just hit those with an upstroke. And you land another B chord, an inverted one. Now what you actually hear him do in the live version is he plays this. So after he hits the D, the G, and the B string for that inverted B chord, he comes back and hits the B string again. So you'll want to do that one with an upstroke, and then he plays the lick. So that's a downstroke, pull off, upstroke, down. I think really, not to make it more tedious than it needs to be, but I think that's really important to pulling that off and making it sound like he does. And you hit the B chord at the end. And then we are into the verse of the song. Now we're going to be moving back and forth between a B major and a G sharp minor with this very cool groove. So let's get into how that's done, okay? So you can see I'm just swinging back and forth, alternate strokes, but there's some accents in there. So you've got maybe an accent right out the gate, then upstrokes. So it's the same rhythm repeating itself, right? And so you've got maybe an accent out the gate and then some upstroke accents, and then we'll talk about the muting. So let's talk about those backbeat mutes. So how that's achieved is I'm still doing exactly what I just spoke about in the right hand, but in my left hand, I'm releasing the pressure on the chord just enough to mute the strings. And you put that into the groove that you're playing with your right hand. Now I'll try to exaggerate that movement, if you will, in the left hand so you can see exactly where it's at. You don't have to lift the pressure that much, obviously, or move the hand that animated, but that kind of shows you where it's at. And it's a great groove, right? It just sounds really cool. And then we move to the next part, which is B, D sharp minor, and G sharp minor. Right on that last one, you drop the pinky to create a G sharp minor seventh. So I think probably the previous explanation on how he's just kind of whacking away at this should be sufficient. I hope so anyway. I'll just walk you through this part nice and slow. So that last one would be sort of a up, down, up, down, letting go of that pinky on that last downstroke, okay? now we move into the chorus of the song, which actually contains a bit of that intro in it. So let's talk about how that's played as well. We've got an E major chord. So the rhythm of this chord really ties in with the vocal, okay? So what I'm doing there is down, down, up, up, down. I think that's best for the E chord. It really brings out both the vocal and the rhythm of the tune, okay? And then we move to a D sharp minor, C sharp minor. And those are pretty much downstrokes, but again, you're just constantly swinging your right hand. And then you have this, like what we played at the intro. Just the first slice of that. Remember, the intro was... So it's just the first 4 chords. But it's the exact same thing and the exact same rhythm. So again, with the chorus, we have... Repeat. On the last one, the 4th one, we play the full intro at the end of it. So let me play that whole chorus for you so it makes some musical sense, okay? Here we go. So there you go with Waiting on You All from George Harrison, another great one from the All Things Must Pass album. And I do have to say I really enjoyed the live version from the Bangladesh concert. I think that's really cool. It's a really cool version. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and we'll see you guys real soon.